And in the meantime, Mr. Beatty will box up all the mementos and take him to his mother's house for safekeeping.
Correct.
Okay, I can live with that.
And you'll send me, and Ms. Newell, you're going to send me that list of the list.
And the list, and you'll get back to me within a week on that. Yes.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
As counsel for Taylor, do you have Taylor with you, Ms. Newell?
No, and I don't expect her on this Zoom hearing today.
All right. Rick Thompson appears as counsel for Bryce Beatty, who appears in the office of his lawyer. This matter comes before the court at this time for renewal of, essentially for review of the status of the case. The case has been in the past close to finalization pursuant to announcements that have been made. But Mr. Thompson, please give your assessment of the current status of this case.
Your Honor, we have, Ms. Newell and I have worked through some child support issues involving some tax dependency exemptions. We're going to be revising child support from the outset in this case to reflect mom taking both dependency exemptions rather than splitting them. So I know Ms. Newell is working on that. My client is starting a new job, Wednesday, day after tomorrow, on Friday, Your Honor. I just found that out and communicated that to Ms. Newell a couple hours ago, Your Honor. And I will get her the pay stub so we can do another child support worksheet once I get that information. But I told her his hourly rate of $22 an hour and his employer, which I believe is Verisport, playground equipment installer, Your Honor. So we are making progress on child support. We should be able to get all of that wrapped up within the near term, Your Honor. The dependency exemptions were the holdup, but we've got that. Ms. Newell and I have that figured out now.
All right, okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Thompson.
On the second issue, Your Honor, on visitation, my client is still has supervised visitation court ordered. We've had to make a change from VEP to an outfit called Faith Builders in Wichita. Ms. Newell's client, that was at my client's suggestion, Ms. Newell's client, I'm told, has reached out to Faith Builders. And as of earlier this week, it's my understanding, Ms. Newell's client was waiting on a return call to set up the particulars for that supervised visitation at Faith Builders. I don't think Ms. Newell has an update yet, but that's in process, and we're waiting on Faith Builders and Ms. Newell's client to coordinate the times for Mr. Beatty to see his children, Your Honor. The third issue is home. There has been Ms. Newell reported to me today that her client found online a foreclosure petition that has not been served. We haven't been served, so my side of the case was not aware of that. I visited with Mr. Beatty and his family member today about that, and they are going to make contact with the mortgage company to see what is going on and to quote my client's family member to get that situated, Your Honor, in the near term. So I have no other information than that, Your Honor, that Ms. Newell communicated that to me. But my clients and his family is going to make inquiry to head that off, Your Honor, if that foreclosure petition is in fact out there. And I don't think Ms. Newell saw it. I think her client saw it. So Ms. Newell was reporting what her client reported to her. So we will take steps to try to address that situation, Your Honor. As to property division, Your Honor, Ms. Newell and I have spent, to be perfectly frank, way too much time on personal property, Your Honor. I think Ms. Newell and I will both admit to that. There's not significant personal property. We'll figure the house out. Where we've entered into a roadblock are children's keepsakes and mementos, for lack of a better term. Ms. Newell may be able to help me out in describing them better. Her client now has control of them. Ms. Newell's client, as I understand it, she does not have control over all of them. Okay, I'm sorry. She had
none of them. They're still at the marital residence.
Okay, I'm sorry. I misspoke, Your Honor. So my client has control over them, Your Honor. I need to figure out my handwriting at some point in time. And Ms. Newell's client, Ms. Newell has expressed to me, wants all of the mementos, not the everyday items for the children, Your Honor, but the keepsakes, the first Christmas, and I'm just going off the top of my head, the first Christmas ornament, those types of things. My client would like to have half of those, Your Honor. There is absolutely no monetary value. Ms. Newell and I have agreed to this. There's no monetary value. It's sentimental for both. My client would like to keep one half. Ms. Newell's client would want to keep all of them. Ms. Newell has expressed to me the reason her client wants to keep all of them is she's afraid that they will be either lost or mishandled by my client. My client denies he would do any of those things, and a solution to that would be, if there is truly that concern, my client's mother, who I don't think anyone has any question about, but paternal grandmother's responsibility, would take control over, if the court was so inclined to give us an advisory opinion, 1/2 of those mementos, Your Honor.
I see. All right. I think you've outlined the issues, Mr. Thompson. I'll turn to Ms. Newell. Is there anything, first of all, that you would add to Mr. Thompson's statement regarding the issues that remain?
Just to not to bag on anything or anything. Mr. Beatty is behind on child support. I believe he lost his latest job at Groundworks. I have not done the calculations to see how far behind on child support he is, but there might be a child support arrearage. VEP, we reached out to them to see if they would allow him to come back for his visits there. They said no. Whatever Mr. Beatty has done has scorched the earth with VEP. He had asked us if we would do visits in Hutchinson. My client refused. He did find Faith Builders here in town. My client, at my direction, reached out to them and is waiting to hear back. It has been a while since Mr. Beatty saw his kids, mainly because he scorched the earth with VEP, whatever he did. And I'll be honest, I don't know. My client told me that she saw online that the house was in foreclosure. I have not independently verified that. That is fine. That Mr. Beatty or his family is going to see what needs to happen. On that, there is no 401k to be distributed. I'm not sure that how much debt there is or isn't. Still trying to get to the bottom of that one. Property division. My client wants all of the keepsakes and mementos. This is very important to her, Your Honor. From the videos you've seen, my client does not trust Mr. Beatty not to destroy them in a rage when he gets mad at her or mad at the children. We believe that his actions since last summer, when the divorce were filed, are not stable. The house being in foreclosure, not paying child support. You've seen the videos. Beating up her car with a baseball bat. You've seen that video. My client would not agree for his mom to keep him because the only person that has access to his mom right now is him. They mean so much to my client. Both of these parties are in their mid to late 20s, Your Honor. They're young. They're younger than me, you, and Rick. These things really don't have a financial value, but they mean a lot to my client. One of their sons has serious developmental delays. My client wants these things that she has kept over the course of their young lives to pass down to them. The only way she knows that those are not going to be destroyed or anything lost is if they are in her possession, and they mean a lot to her. And I can't stress enough to the court, if she's allowed to keep them, they're not going anywhere. And I understand about Mr. Beatty, and these are his kids too. And I'm not saying that my client's a more important client, but my client knows if she has them, that she will have them to pass down, which is her ultimate goal. She doesn't know that if those things are in Mr. Beatty's control. I mean, one of the things she mentioned to me yesterday when I talked to her was, Sarah, he's going to lose the house. The house is in foreclosure. How do I get the stuff out of there that I need? It's been 10 months. My client has also asked, this is another issue, she would like to have access to the house to get clothes, sentimental value, some Christmas decorations, stuff like that. I would like to see that happen too. That if we could make that happen, that would take one more issue off the table. And that is not an issue that I talked to Rick about today, and I apologize. But those are non-financial issues that I think would go a long way if we can get some kind of guidance or ruling from you to go a long way to move this case forward.
And what ruling are you seeking?
Just
I want to make sure
something,
we're on the same page.
absolutely, just something that Miss Beatty can go and get her things, and she can have the keepsakes, because she knows that in her possession is the only one that she's going to know where they are. They're not going to be lost. They're not going to be mishandled. They're not going to be damaged. They're not going to be destroyed in a rage of anger against her or the kids or whatever. And they're very young. So we're talking about somebody having to keep hold of these mementos for 15, 18, possibly the rest of their life if they're not capable of taking them on, Your Honor. So that's kind of where my client's at with that.
All right, Mr. Thompson, regarding her access to the marital residence to take possession of certain personal property, what is your client's position on that?
My client's a bit confused. I asked him while we're hearing Ms. Newell's argument. My client tells me that there are no clothes there for mom. There are Christmas decorations and those types of things, but Ms. Newell's client has taken a significant portion, if not all, of her things. For the children's things that remain, he says there are clothing, but they are going to be way too small. I mean, he's fine boxing them up, but they're not going to be anything that will be useful for the children at this point. He hasn't seen the children for a while, but when he did see the children, the clothing was not going to be appropriate for them to wear. Sorry, Your Honor, I'm not articulating that well. If there's a list of items that Ms. Newell's client believes are at the home, we can most certainly gather those up. But when I heard clothing, I immediately asked my client, because it's been months, why would she have clothes there? And he tells me that those things have been picked up, Your Honor. So we don't have an objection to giving her things. We just don't know what she defines as her things. Your Honor, I guess is the best way to put it.
Ms. Newell, do you have a list?
I do. For instance, the kids' name signs, ornaments, Pyrex glass bowls, memory stuff, birthday stuff, kids' name benches that her family made for them, the daughter's crib and mattress as they live with Taylor full time, Slater's bed and mattress as he lives with Taylor full time. Asking that if the dog and the cat aren't being taken care of, that they be rehomed or taken to the Humane Society, any other kids' memory stuff.
So Your Honor, it sounds like the kid. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought.
Yeah. No. My client left, and I don't know the details to that off the top of my head. This is just stuff that she wrote to me. She would like to go to the house and get the stuff. I don't think she trusts that it will be there if we ask Mr. Beatty to box it up. And I'm sorry to say that, but that's kind of where we're at. There's a serious trust thing here.
Had you provided that list to Mr. Thompson prior to today, Ms. Newell?
I don't know if I've ever provided this list to Rick or not. I'm sorry.
Well, the court will direct that you do so.
Okay.
Mr. Thompson, within 7 days of you receiving this list, I will require you to send a response to Ms. Newell regarding the items that are agreed upon that can be transferred with some direction here. Anything that's clearly hers, or something that clearly was a gift or something special from her side of the family, it seems just logical that he go ahead and just turn those things over.
We have no objection to that, Your Honor, without question. Yes, her items and those that are gifted. Where the problem comes down is when Ms. Newell is reading the list. And Ms. Newell and I discussed some of those items in the past. They ring a bell. They're the mementos, and that's where we need the guidance, because she wants all of them. And my client would like to retain a portion of them, whether it be half or whatever. And so that's where the dilemma comes in. Because I know Ms. Newell and I spoke about some of these, because one of them rang a bell immediately. One of the kids' items, nameplate, I think. And that's where it comes down to. She wants all of them. everything that belonged to the kids. And my client says, I'm dad. And he understands that there are some consequences to his actions. He did not react in an appropriate manner when he found out that she was having an affair. He did not. I mean, we're not saying he did. He acted inappropriately. He let his emotions take the best of him when he found out what his wife was doing. He knows that. He's paying for the consequences now. That's why he has supervised parenting time, one of the reasons. But these are the history of the kids. And if the court would order, he's not to destroy them. He's not to do anything to those items. We have a court order. The other option is have the paternal grandmother take charge of those items, one half of those children's items, Your Honor. But we don't think it's fair. I'm making an argument. We don't think it's fair that mom gets all of this. That's where Ms. Newell and I are stuck. We cannot get over this, and there's no monetary value to it. That's the other problem. So we can't.
Well, I think there's a problem trying to determine what half of these items actually constitutes.
Exactly.
There will be some things you can't divide in half, and I don't want things broken in half.
Correct.
So determining how you come up with half to each party is problematic. I think your suggestion is sound, Mr. Thompson. I think that these children's items that are apparently of controversy, apparently they mean as much to your client, Mr. Thompson, as they do to the mother. Yes, and if that really is the case, and he's not just using that as leverage or for some improper purpose, then I think the practical solution is that those, I would suggest, are probably already in boxes or tubs or something, that they be provided to the paternal grandmother for holding with a specific order from the court that they're not to be destroyed or disposed of in any way until the litigation in this case is concluded. And then they're allocated appropriately at that time.
Thank you.
If there's a concern that somehow Mr. Beatty might destroy these items, I have no idea why he'd want to do that. But if there's a concern with that, I think that if grandmother holds them and she's willing to do so, I think they'd be held for safekeeping until this can be sorted out. But I also want to give the direction that if it comes down to this, what the court is likely to order is that all of these items be brought to a single location, both parties show up, and they take turns choosing items until they're all gone.
A Dutch auction, basically, Your Honor. A colloquial term, the Dutch auction. Yes, sir.
So that may be one way that it can eventually be sorted out, but on an interim basis, I just think they need to be preserved. And I would ask Mr. Beatty to be open-minded about when she sends this list of things that she wants to take possession of, if they're not doing him any good, he should let them go.
That he may have already heard that, Your Honor, and I appreciate the court making that statement.
All right. But how much time will it take between now and the next hearing to resolve the child support issues, which would, I think, implicitly help in determining arrearage, sorting out where the foreclosure action is on the marital residence, and having this property division matter taken care of? How much time is this going to take? Mr. Thompson, your estimate first.
Your Honor, it depends on what type of evidence Ms. Newell wants of me for Mr. Beatty's new appointment. He just starts Friday. He told me his hourly wage. I'm going to look at him. Can you get me a letter from your employer saying what your hourly wage is?
Yes, I have the employment.
Okay, that's enough. So, Your Honor, I will send what we have indicating what Mr. Beatty's hourly wage is from his employer, how many hours per week he works. If that's sufficient, we should be able to get that piece of it wrapped up, I would hope, within a week or two. If Ms. Newell wants a pay stub, then it's probably going to be 30 days because he's got to work and then he gets his pay stub issued. So it depends on the type of documentary materials Ms. Newell would like so she could do her child support calculation.
I would like to see the access to the premises for the wife to regain the things that are appropriately on this list taken care of before our next hearing. But
Yes,
I'll allow counsel to confer and accomplish that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Your Honor.
As far as child support goes, just a letter stating how much he's going to have make per hour and whether it's going to be full time. And they can just tell me on this hearing, is the position going to have any overtime?
I'm sorry, Ms. Miller, I didn't understand. Can you say that again?
$22 an hour. Is the position full time?
Yeah, that's my yes.
Will there be any overtime?
Do you know if there's overtime?
Seldom.
Did they tell you whether there'll be overtime?
They said there's a possibility.
What Mr. Beatty tells me is his employee said there could be overtime. It is not guaranteed. So he doesn't, I don't think he knows. It's installing playground equipment. So I imagine if you've got 5 or 6 schools.
He's selling it or he's installing?
No, he's installation.
Okay.
Yeah, they try to keep it 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, so they don't have to pay overtime. But if there's special projects, they may have to get it done, for lack of a better term.
For purposes of moving forward with child support, if he'll provide me his letter, I'm fine with calculating the child support worksheet at $22 an hour full time.
I'll do so, Your Honor.
I'm fine with that.
And then on the foreclosure, Your Honor, I'm told my client and his family will investigate that this week to get a determination as to what in the world's going on, Your Honor.
And just let me know, please.
I most certainly will let Ms. Newell know once we find something out.
Okay.
An approximate 30-day time frame is problematic. You're getting to a part of the calendar which the court doesn't have much availability. And I don't really want to cut the time short. So we're probably looking sometime in the second half of May.
Are you looking at the 25th is Memorial Day. So are you looking at the week prior to Memorial Day, Your Honor, the week of the 18th?
I am. Contemplating perhaps late morning on Monday, May 18.
Late morning, would it by Zoom again, Your Honor?
It would be 11 o'clock on Monday, May 18.
I have that available, Your Honor.
I do too.
Very well. Court will set another Zoom status review hearing, expecting some progress in these areas that we've identified today. 11 o'clock a.m. on Monday, May the 18th. I will require the presence of counsel, obviously, at that Zoom hearing. Encourage the parties' attendance if they're available. Monday, May 18, 11 o'clock a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Right, Ms. Newell, is there anything else that the court needs to address at this time?
No, just for purposes of recapping, I'll figure out the child support. Rick and I are to work on getting Miss Beatty access to get the stuff, and that's hers. And in the meantime, Mr. Beatty will box up all the mementos and take him to his mother's house for safekeeping.
Correct.
Okay, I can live with that.
And you'll send me, and Ms. Newell, you're going to send me that list of the list.
And the list, and you'll get back to me within a week on that. Yes.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. In fact, I'll send that to you when we hang up.
I do believe that counsel needs to fairly promptly explore this pending foreclosure civil case involving a substantial marital asset in this case, and have the status of that determined and at least information shared prior to our next hearing.
Oh, yes, Your Honor. Most certainly, Your Honor.
All right. If there's nothing further at this time in the Beatty matter, the court will declare recess at this time. But Mr. Thompson, hand up.
Do you want one, or do you want counsel to prepare an order, Your Honor?
Mr. Thompson, I would appreciate if you would do so.
I shouldn't have said anything, Your Honor. I will do so, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, counsel.
Yeah.
Sure.
Then at this time, the case is in recess. This meeting may be ended for all.